What's up, everybody? Episode 51 of the All You Can Hear podcast. With me today, as per usual, I have Colt.
Well, roll it on.
I have Winslow.
Hey.
I have Cody.
Yeah.
I have Patrick.
It's full power, Pat.
Whoa! Whoa! Fuck! Oh, a little bit of FPP action. Okay.
Lord have you just destroyed a lot of ears.
No, hold on. You looked
I
at me.
destroyed a lot
that
of
was
ears.
Winslow.
I did.
And I am.
Turn Winslow down.
Yeah, just mute him for the whole show.
Winslow's just way
And,
loud.
and I'm Tanner. And today we're
I'm a noisy boy.
we're doing this thing where, like last anime season, we went through the anime of winter 2018, reviewed them.
Hold on, I'm
talked
going to
about them.
stop you because I'm looking at the doc right now. Who the fuck put number 2 and then number 2 Gundam Build Divers and number 3, number 3, number 4, number 4,
That's
number
just
5?
how it got numbered after I deleted stuff.
I need a name.
It's on the docs.
I
Anyways,
need a name.
it's me. Anyways, we're talking about spring 2018 anime today. We're going to be going through some new shows. There was a lot of not redos, remakes this season, so we're going to be talking about those. And then at the end, we're probably going to talk about My Hero because it's My Hero.
Do you think it's Devilman's fault?
What?
What's Devilman's fault?
These were already being made before Devilman even came
No.
out.
It takes 2 months to make an anime.
Yeah, everybody knows you can make an anime in about 3 days if you really put your mind to it. No, I don't think so. Although it's interesting that, we'll get to it, but one of the remakes on this list is from Devilman.
Ready Player One.
Go Nagai.
It is Ready Player One's fault. I agree. God, I really want to talk about Ready Player One just because I had a lot of problems. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of problems with that movie. There's one problem in particular in that movie. I'll talk about.
We'll do a spoiler.
Can we do a non-canon file for it?
Well, no, we won't do a non-canon file for it.
No,
it doesn't deserve that.
I would die.
Oh,
But-
wait a minute. It
for
would
an hour
deserve-
discussion of Ready Player One, I'd die.
Because I forgot half the movie already. But what we should do is have a small conversation of it at the end of this podcast. So here we go. At the very end of this podcast, right before the end of it, we will
Stay tuned for after the credits.
We'll do a spoiler of Ready Player One where we talk about what we thought about it. So there we
Fine,
go.
whatever.
This is super improv. Tanner's like Cody looking at me like,
No, that's fine. I'm fine with it.
The guys in the back are saying, okay, we're fine with it.
Our producer's saying yes.
Oh my God.
And producer is me.
Oh my God, Kevin is going batshit backstage, y'all. Y'all can't see this, but Kevin's losing his fucking mind. Kevin's an 8-year-old.
He's smacking all the donuts off the table. I bought those.
We got live feeding right here. Wait, hold on. I've got to figure out which one's not mine. Hold on. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Somebody could do the Ryan Gosling scream.
Oh, don't put. Hold on. Turn me down because I really want to do it.
Hold on. I got to find. I can't remember.
I swear to God, we'll get to the anime in a second. But let us get our bits in.
We'll put a timestamp for the bullshit after.
No, we won't.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Get out of the fucking ground right now! That was my rendition of Ryan Gosling from
Somewhere Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines.
Have y'all actually watched that?
Yeah, it's so good.
When did y'all watch that?
We watched that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Cole and I watched that.
Yeah, Cole was like, "Y'all want to watch this 3-hour movie?"
Yeah, it
We
was
were like,
really
"Sure."
sad.
It was really good.
It was so good though.
It was.
Place Beyond the Pines, like it's.
You know what? Let's talk about Place Beyond the Pines.
Or
too.
is it
No,
Place Beyond the Pines?
I do want to do a Ryan Gosling podcast. where we talk about his
we
movies.
should fucking do that.
We got to watch a lot of Ryan Gosling though.
I've seen a
Oh
lot
my
of Ryan
God,
Gosling.
we could do like a. Okay, that's for meetings.
What
So-
do we anime?
Let's talk now. Okay, anime. So we watched 7 different new anime from the season. And Patrick, what's the first one on the list?
The first one on the list is a debuting series called Golden Kamuy.
Okay. What? Just general thoughts. What did y'all think of?
Should we do a synopsis for the?
Yeah.
for the
Okay. Yeah. Do a synopsis for us, Pat.
Golden Kamuy is about a veteran of the Japanese-Russian war who's come to the northern region of Japan, Hokkaido, to Japan for gold. And here's an interesting story about convicts and gold and intrigue along the way. And
Yeah, there's a native people,
the Ainu,
who supposedly got the gold because Hokkaido is supposedly full of gold. The native people collected the gold, brought it to the village so they could fight off the Japanese from invading Hokkaido. And in the process, someone came in, killed them all, stole the gold. Dude got arrested, but not before he got arrested. He buried his gold and then proceeded to tattoo on a bunch of random people,
Prisoners.
a bunch of random prisoners that he was in prison with. He began to tattoo the instructions on how to find that gold.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it starts. It starts off with this guy who just got back from the Russian-Japanese War, or Russian-Sino, I forgot.
Russo-Japanese, that's what they
The
call it.
Russo-Japanese War. And in the and he just got back, and he was panning for gold, and he was told the story, and we go from there.
Yeah. His nickname is the Immortal Sugimoto.
Yeah, because he supposedly could not be killed. And he killed a lot of people.
That beginning, like the beginning fight scenes and stuff are really.
Oh yeah,
really good.
it's like a great combat scene, like right at the beginning. Like that's what immediately got me in. I'm like, okay, I'm in, because I didn't look up anything because Colt picked out all the anime we were watching. So I didn't even like read anything. I went in with no like preconceived notions about any of these anime. So I went in and immediately like this great combat scene. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, I saw that short little trailer Crunchyroll put out for Golden Kamuy, and that's the only thing I saw. So great.
I mean, what did we think of it? Like,
I thought it was great. The only thing that I didn't like was the 3D animations for the bears.
Yeah.
You can see where they cheaped out on the animation. Like the actual character animations, they looked really, really good.
But the CGI was fucking atrocious.
What-
Did you also look at the fire? Like
the fire was real. That was real fire.
That was a real fire
Yeah.
that they've somehow transposed over the cartoon.
Yep.
And I was like, well, that's the first thing I was like, uh-oh.
I mean, that was. I mean, if my major qualm with an anime is the bear looked like shit, I can take it. It was just so like immediately it just comes out, and like I don't know if y'all ever used to play those like plug and play Cabela games that had like the little gun, like you played an arcade game. The bear literally sounded and looked just like one of those. Like they just pulled it from like a Cabela plug and play from like
2006.
from like 04, 05 or some shit. And it was like, "Arr," and it was like, there's a bear. Literally, the anime, like the whole first episode is about trying to kill a fucking bear, which kind of rules in itself. But
No
then it's
spoilers.
Like, the bear looks like
Which is,
shit.
It's fine because this is the first episode.
Yeah.
I should mention that all these episodes are just the first
Yeah.
episode of the series.
Yeah.
So if you do listen to this podcast, you aren't going to be you may be spoiled for the first episode.
Yeah.
But that is not going to ruin the anime for you. Therefore, we haven't even seen the rest of the anime.
Okay,
It's
well-
literally brand new.
Yeah.
I was going to say I thought it was kind of weird, but also kind of badass. Whenever because when we were watching it, I was thinking like that's kind of weird that he would just like tattoo like random instructions, on each of the prisoners. So I was thinking, what if he was tattooing them so that he would later come back, kill them, skin them, and then use the skin to make a map, and that's the
Wow, Wenzel.
Yeah, no, Wenzel literally called it while we were watching it. And then like it happened. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
How
and
did
then-
you even guess?
And then the Immortal Sugimoto, he ends up skinning the prisoner, and then the skin just looks like literally a cloth, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was kind of weird too. After he skinned the guy, like he was just holding it like a blanket.
It is one of the more violent anime. I mean, like we talked about Devilman and Crybaby, of course, but it was a really violent anime for it to not have that same like. I don't know. It didn't have the same.
It's not gory.
It's not gory. It's
There's a lot of
physical violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things is that this is one of the first anime that I've ever seen to actually kind of address the Russo-Japanese War.
Yeah.
And it's also, I've never seen a historical like anime take on a war that's in like modern times.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
This is. Also, and maybe I could just be really anime illiterate.
I mean, we're not here claiming we're like anime. Like we've seen our fair share of anime, but we've like no way of like dived into like the stuff from the 60s
But
or 70s. Or
another
anything.
thing that I really liked is how it actually the native peoples of Hokkaido. They actually talked about the native peoples of Hokkaido. Kind of, I don't know how accurate it is to the native peoples. Of course, I don't know anything about the native peoples of Hokkaido. I knew that there were native peoples of Hokkaido. I knew that they did not really want to be a part of Japan nor Russia. And Russia, at this point in time, during this early 20th century battle, they were trying to take control of Hokkaido. Just to expand things. This was right before the Russian Revolution, and I knew that was a thing that was happening at this point in time. but I never knew about the native peoples. I knew about them, but I never knew what their people what their kind of structure was or anything like that. I like how they've kind of incorporated some spirituality aspects of them. Like it's not necessarily the same as far of part of the first part of the anime. There's no seemingly anime magic in this, the anime powers or anything like that. But there is this sort of spiritualness to like, oh, this bear we're killing, it's a god.
Yeah, it's an evil god because it ate a person.
Because it ate a human. And so it's almost taking those historical aspects, I believe, I don't know anything about these people, and then changing them and turning them into the actual, like, powers, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I read the first 4 volumes of the manga, and as the series progresses, because Tsukumo's companion, young Ainu girl, is Serpa, she's more or less his guide and assistant, and it goes into great detail with just like the culture and a lot about the materials and tracking and the animalistic properties of their beliefs. Like the Ainu culture, they believe there's a god or spirit resides in everything, like the plants, the animals, tools, everything, and it really goes through like how much in tune they were in nature, and how much they just lived alongside nature, and how much they revered it. And I think what's interesting about Golden Kamuy, how it kind of volleys between like really intense graphic like warfare and violence with comedy, and actually like food, I guess quote unquote food porn, because that's a lot of very intricate, well-drawn scenes with cooking and food. They could talk about like a lot of native dishes in the Ainu culture, and it's really interesting to find out, because my first introduction to like the concept of the Ainu was like from a manga called Shaman King years ago, where one of the main characters was a indigenous Japanese person, and this goes into great detail. The author, he really spent his time to interview the Ainu people and learn about their history, because apparently there's only, to my knowledge, there's only 4 people in Japan that can actually speak the Ainu language anymore.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
considering
crazy.
Wow.
how many there used to be. And like I said, Hokkaido is this weird place. Not to get into historical, Hokkaido is this weird space that it is super fucking cold. It's basically Russian temperament. Right?
Yeah.
And it is a different people from the Japanese people.
They are separate from.
They are separate, and they've been separate for years and years and years and years. And then, of course, Japan kind of the cradle of life in Japan, or the cradle of civilization in Japan, happened on the southeastern area of it, in like at least the southern portion of it. And so that northern half had never, like, it took years and years and years before that was sort of taken over and stuff like that. And again, we're talking about the Russians in early 20th century, right after World War, or right before the World War. It was right before World War One. And it was the Tsar, not Alexander. Maybe it was Alexander. I don't remember. The Tsar at that point in time
Nicholas?
Nicholas. Nicholas.
Nicholas II, I think.
Yeah, he was not the most. From what I understand, he wasn't the smartest leader, and he was just like, "Oh, we're gonna go on a conquest and expand Russia," and so they're like, "Got a perfect idea." Hokkaido, let's go fucking fight the Japanese. And in the process of it, it was not a good war for anybody. Just a lot of bloodshed, and that's kind of why Japan didn't really join in World War One. It's because they had just been like
through a war, and
they just been through a war.
I mean, they were part of the Allies, but I mean, they were.
It's not to say that Japan was a victim at this point, because they had a chokehold on the Korean Peninsula, I believe, at this point. So they were imperialists themselves. However, this is just a whole complicated situation.
Everybody was doing their own. So back off the history lesson. Everybody was doing their own shit in the early 1900s. Yeah. It was a wild time.
I thought this anime was very cool, because it's like we're getting into the 20th century. Mm-hmm. It's like that whole thing of like we're getting new technology, but old values and old ways are like starting to meet and collide. I think that's very cool.
It was interesting how they did show a Gatling gun too.
Yeah.
It was showing like this new weapon these new weapons, and then it kind of shifted to like, oh, these are poison tipped arrows, and we have to shoot this bear. Also, climb underneath the bear and like chop its heart out.
Yeah,
You know?
and we're stuck in the woods, and all he has is what, a rifle and the knife and the girl with the bow and arrow.
And like the whole
it's
point of the
crazy.
show, like your main character is trying to get, unless it was a weird mistranslation, 200 yen, which nowadays is
It's
the
$2.
equivalent of $2 American.
Yeah.
Well, I think like they were transitioning to a new system of currency, and because like I think they said the goal was like 200 con with either I can't remember if it's a weight or a system of weight or a system of an older system.
It's a system of measurement or
But
something.
basically, what the equivalency of that gold would probably be around like $1 billion in gold.
Yeah. No, it's just crazy to look like when it was like yeah, I'm trying to get 200 yen, and like nowadays you think like, oh, like that would take 11 seconds to find $2.
And he's not
in
even
your
doing it
house.
for himself.
No, he's
Yeah.
not doing it for himself.
He's doing it for
his best friend.
his best friend who had died in the war, who he had watched, and also they're tackling seemingly PTSD as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is interesting as well because he does have a flashback of the
Damn,
war.
it was a pretty loaded episode. Now just think of it, pretty
It was
loaded.
a pretty heavy episode with
Yeah.
great animation despite the CG. The
Yeah.
CG was god awful.
Yeah, the bear was really bad,
I
but
hope it
literally
gets better.
everything else was beautiful.
But outside of that,
yeah.
Yep.
want to move on?
I mean,
Yeah.
hold on. We would all recommend Golden Kamuy.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
yeah.
Absolute.
Definitely gonna follow
Rec-
this.
Yeah.
And plus, this is if you are a type of person who is a bit sensitive to violence or intense themes, maybe go in there with caution because I can promise you it only gets more intense from here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
fuck.
the first scene, like, because it was the first one that we watched together, and we were watching it, and literally the first one, we were like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Because like the Japanese army, they're just getting mowed down by the Russian Gatling guns, and like Tsukamoto gets like a bullet, like either grazes his neck or it actually goes through his neck because he gets shot through his neck.
Which is why he's considered immortal.
The Immortal, yeah.
I will say this: there is like in the realm of historical anime, I'm getting the vibe. It's very much a Rurouni Kenshin type vibe, which I know the creator is problematic, but the anime itself has like a historical. It's never really magical, but it's also at the same time mystical in a way.
It's an era of Japanese history that you don't really see covered. You always see like the feudal era or modern or fantasy, but it's just like it's very early 20th century.
And this is post Meiji too.
Yeah, so you have like this influx of like what would be equivalent of modern technology, but it's still very very much like this rural Japan in a lot of ways. It's just newly urbanized Japan.
Yeah. Old world meeting new world.
Very much a common theme in Japanese like storytelling is old meets new. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, definitely go out of your It's on Crunchyroll. Go out of your way and watch it because it's great.
yep. All right, let's go on to number 2.
The second anime we watched was Gundam Build Divers.
Let me get a little thing in here before we actually delve into it. We watched episode 0, which is technically not spring. I wish that somebody would have watched episode 1 so it could be spring. This is technically a winter anime.
No one told me.
Well, I didn't know either.
I didn't know either,
But
so.
anyways, but you need to watch. The thing is, it is Gundam Build Divers is a spring anime, but the prologue came out during the winter season. But I say you absolutely need to watch the prologue before you dive into it because the prologue, it's like a 14-minute long action scene, and it fucking rules.
I had no idea what was going on for the first 10 minutes of the whole scene.
Oh, sure. No, I agree because I like.
All I saw was the fucking ferret, and I was like, this is
You
good.
sold.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm sold. Talking animals and robots, hell yeah.
I mean, that's exactly my thought
Yeah,
process.
I mean, really. Like, I've never been experienced to the Gundam culture. I know jack shit about Gundam, but like watching this, and from what Colt said, it's very different than the normal Gundam
Oh, yeah.
series.
There's actual animal alien monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in all the other previous series, there's never been aliens or anything. And this,
Also, old series, very violent, gruesome, political type series.
Yeah.
This is fun. Welcome to anime.
Yeah,
This seems like one of y'all said it, like the Pokemon for Gundam.
pretty much, and
essentially.
it's supposed to be open for more kids. And a huge portion of the fan base is getting pissed off. They're like, it's too childish, it's too kiddie. I'm like, what's wrong with that though? Like,
Yeah.
after watching that, because I was worried, because I was like, okay, people are saying this, I wonder if it's really that bad. But watching it, I'm like, oh no, this is really good. Like,
thought it was really
it's
good.
still like, I mean, it still has action and stuff, and like maybe not as violent or has anything to do with like war and politics and stuff, but it's still a fun little thing to watch.
Yeah.
And plus, as big as a franchise as Gundam is, and as long as they've been putting out different media and stories, it seems a bit unrealistic to think that every single one's going to be like
This exactly the same. Like you got to change that up because I mean, what? It's like Iron Blooded Orphans. That was about child soldiers, and then what was the one before that?
Gundam Age or
Fuck, I don't even know.
But it's really gonna. But let's be real here. A kid who watches Build Divers is like, wow, I wonder what the other series are looking like.
Yeah.
To go back
Oh,
and
that's
watch.
true. I mean, if you were a kid that could seek out Build Divers, which seems very Disney XD-ish. I don't even mean that in a bad way.
No, you're right.
Like I don't mean that in a bad way because I think Disney XD has excellent programming, but in Cartoon Network too. But it's one of those things where
it's like very bright, very vibrant
very
colors,
bright,
and stuff.
vibrant colors, and it's like. Obviously, the main point of the fucking show is to sell you the model kits.
Yeah,
and like
that's
the
what
whole
Gundam is product placement.
There's so many poses from the models. It's not even funny. Like,
Oh yeah,
Like I was noticing because Colt went on a fucking buying spree of Gundam, and I saw a lot of Gundam in that episode. That was like, oh, this is on Colt's shelf currently. So it's weird. I don't know.
yeah, and a lot of them, and like you can tell, like it's not like the other ones because part of the show and the mechanic of it is that like they're not kids, but the main character is a kid. But everybody has like they build their own Gundams at home, pretty much like in real life where you buy a kit, you build it at home. Well, it's like this: like they buy them, they build them at home, and then they enter them into like this competition where you actually like it's like a simulation where you get to use the Gundam in the simulation
fuck.
and fight.
So that's why it's called Build Divers.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
building
The cool
it, and
thing, for
and then you
me
dive
is,
into it.
Like the Gundam are actual Gundam from past violent ass Gundam series.
Yeah, which I think is kind of
So
funny
it's almost
too.
like if Gundam had become the world's #1 favorite anything ever, and then kids were like, "Let's build some VR shit out of it."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much like Gundam. Like they're like, all right, Gundam aren't like isn't. I have no clue if this is in this. I would assume it's in the same universe as all the other shows. Like every
No.
series,
No.
it's not.
No.
Okay.
All the most.
There's a bunch of different universes: Ultimate Century, Alternate Century.
Okay, so all the Gundams are not canonical with one another.
No,
there are sequel series, but they're all more or less to themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't know that because it seems interesting because this Gundam kind of takes the approach of like Pokemon, where it's like we've tamed the Pokemon for ourselves, and now they're our #1 sport.
But see, it's still. But even though like all of them are like separate and stuff, it's still kind of weird because they're pulling robots from like other series. So it's like,
Well, if in this universe it is like a manufactured property, then like I guess conceivably all those other Gundams do exist, but they're like TV shows or model kits.
Yeah, I know,
So
yeah.
like you would see like like Gundam Wing or whatever,
or the oh god,
I don't know the
Zaku or
Zaku.
Zaku. Sorry. Okay,
I mean,
everybody.
just say this during the entire episode of Build Divers, I kept thinking, "Where the fuck's Gundam?"
You think of the RX-78? That is only in the original series, really. It's just different color variations. It's the same.
Is that the main one? The white,
The blue
with
and
the
white
blue?
one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I was
from
like,
the
"Where's
original series.
Gundam?"
that's how you know what the main character Gundam is, because if he has like the same base color palette as like the original.
Oh, that's the main character.
Blue,
Gundam.
red, white, and yellow.
Which I'm trying to think, like, because I mean, I build them and stuff, but I still don't know anything about them. Isn't it like the kits and stuff? Aren't they called Gunpla?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kits and stuff are called Gunpla.
Yeah.
And
Or
then
Gundam plastic.
yeah, I don't know.
That's
and
wild.
The actual like
I just want a fucking ferret that can fly one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, and the actual like
We'll get to that special character.
Wait, you thought that was a ferret?
it was,
it
not a
was
ferret?
like
I thought it was a dog.
it was like a mixture, like a ferret and a dog.
It's,
because
it's a indistinct mammalian creature.
yeah, pretty much.
Dog.
It's cute. That's all I need to know.
Dog.
Because I saw it had a long body, but
It did have a long body.
yeah, but anyway,
Chihuahua. I mean, hot dog.
because it's
Dachshund.
are you done?
Dotson.
Dang it. Dachshund, same thing.
What?
Dushy.
Wenzel, get your point.
No, wait. Did you say Dachshund?
Isn't that not like the long boy?
That's the
Dachshund?
Dachshund.
Dachshund.
I'm thinking-
Jesus
I literally
Christ.
said Dachshund.
Podcast canceled. Podcast is canceled.
It's a weasel.
A
No,
weasel?
it's a dog.
It's a stoat weasel.
Okay, I
Oh,
believe
okay.
it.
Okay.
I want a whole show about him. If he's not the main character, I'm not watching episode 2.
Oh, but also a lot of the except for the main guy, the blonde dude, what was his name? I don't remember, it doesn't matter. But
I would buy one.
I don't yeah, hell yeah. some of the kits that they put out are like essentially recolored other kits too. So, but they look great. But yeah, the RX-78 stuff, those are actually called Gundams, and I know like from Iron Blooded Orphans they had things called Greys, and they were not called Gundam, they're called Greys.
Yeah.
But it's
the Gundam were there's a lot of story here.
Yeah, there is.
The Gundam were the robots that fought in the Ultimate War in the Iron Blooded universe, which is not part of the Universal.
Well, no, it was the
Century
Calamity
universe.
War.
Yeah, the Ultimate
This is
War.
a lot of canon.
We'll save all the Gundam lore for a future episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all may need to do like
Yeah.
a whole Gundam episode.
Maybe everybody else can
God.
figure that out for themselves. But great episode. I'm definitely gonna follow this series. It looks promising.
Yeah, like for somebody that has never had anything to do with Gundam, you can go into Build Divers and enjoy it because I enjoyed the hell out of the 14-minute prologue.
I mean, who
that we watched.
doesn't like that
I
shit?
mean, that's how people get drug into these types.
Yeah,
of
no,
shows.
exactly.
That's how they get into the whole canon. It's like they watch one episode and giant robots with people inside them fighting, and
Yeah.
you're like,
And it's just nothing so serious.
Yeah,
And here's the interesting thing about this whole thing. This is the interesting thing about this whole thing that I keep thinking about is the control systems inside the Gundams. Okay,
Very different in Build Divers, I'll tell you that.
Is it not?
It's very like Yu-Gi-Oh type deal. where
Yeah.
it's like playfield. It's not like
But
it's,
I've got-
in the original and like other series. It's more mechanical. Like you're in a joystick.
I've gotten so
Fighting.
used to like these mech shows having like full body suits, and,
Yeah.
like, almost VR
Interface
style
and stuff like
apparatus. And this is like, oh, I placed my trap card.
yeah.
Sword attack.
I love the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
like
It's just like, to me, it's like such an that's kind of the thing that pulls it back to like childish to me, like
Yeah.
kid-like to me, is because the realism jump is just so large there between, like, I know, like, no giant robots fighting each other, realism, come on. But like the
there one
realism
day.
jump in this one is like, you're like, oh wow, but why are they in this weird interface? What's going on here? And then Weasel fight in a Gundam fighting, and then you're like,
And I love how the Weasel character like is played up as like as the main villain of the whole episode. He's like, ha, ha, ha. And then at the end of it, he's like, "Well, I might have lost, but fuck, I respect you."
wait, I thought the Weasel was the good guy.
No.
No,
he was the opposing
He
team.
was
Well, no,
definitely the
he's-
antagonist.
Because I thought the spiky haired dude was the bad guy.
No.
Oh my god, what did you want?
Look, let me tell you right now. Anytime there's a Weasel, it's on the good side.
Well, that's true. They did exchange a handshake at the end saying "good battle," and there was like fireworks and everywhere.
And then it was like, oh,
he's the rival. He's the Sasuke.
that's one of my favorite things about
Sasuke would never shake Naruto's hand. Patrick, get a grip.
They blew
of
each other's
yourself.
hands off, Patrick. Spoilers.
Well, it makes sense if he's a weasel and his brother's name's Itachi, and Itachi is the Japanese word for weasel.
I don't need you doing this to me.
Naruto and Sasuke kissed.
Can we go on to the next anime?
Well, no, hold on. Would we all recommend Build Divers?
Yes.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
recommend
Why
it.
not?
No,
Yes.
yeah.
Episode 3, Anime 3 was a debuting series called Caligula.
No idea what the fuck is going on.
Wow. Wow. This one threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
This one threw me for a fucking loop. Let me tell you, I was like, what the fuck is Caligula? I could not remember what a Caligula
Little
was.
Boots.
I was thinking like
It is not the Roman emperor.
I was like, okay. I was like, well, let me look up, because I didn't want to look up spoilers for the anime, but I wanted to get like a secret hint into the anime as to why it's called Caligula. And so I looked up Caligula. Pretty boring. He wasn't really that boring. He was a Roman emperor, but like,
He was crazy. He declared war on the sea.
Yeah.
yeah, but at the
Who
same
hasn't done that?
Yeah.
Though?
at the same time, that's like, how are you gonna make this into an anime? Oh, he was crazy. Oh my god. Anyways, so Caligula, here I am watching the first half of it. I'm like, this is boring. This is kids high school anime, pretty boy anime. Here we go. And then in the middle of it, just goes fucking nuts.
Yeah.
They have
It
a
goes-
school assembly, and then all the kids start turning into like cybernetic zombie
And then
thingies.
yep.
I lost my shit when all of a sudden like they all just stop in place and they turn in one direction and that one guy starts punching the person.
Beat the
I was
shit
like,
out
what
of all.
the fuck's happening?
No, literally during the one part where
This is the beginning now when the main character and his friends are like walking around at school. They're on the overpass at the school and looking down. There's a crowd of students, and there's like
Yeah.
there's one kid who's way more decorated than the rest, so you know he's like an important character, and he just starts whipping ass on these kids.
Yep.
So what threw me off as soon as I knew like, oh shit's about to go down, was when he was listening to that song and all of a sudden it started like buzzing in and out, going like, help me. I was like, nah, I ain't here to get fucking spooked. Nah, no.
It was spooky.
Yeah,
it was legitimately like a little spook.
It was actually spooky because like even I was, because you get so caught off guard because boring.
Yeah,
boring,
literally the
boring.
whole like first 10 minutes of it is like, y'all want to get ramen?
Yeah.
That's literally the whole first half of the episode.
And not even kidding. And they were just talking about ramen. Like, yeah, it's got pork butter in here. It's delicious. And you're like, I mean,
you're like, damn, I could go for some fucking
I guess
noodles.
ramen. And then he's just laying in bed, and all of a sudden it's like, help me. And you're like, oh, wait, hold on. This anime just shifted a whole lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, the ending, I don't know. Everything about this whole anime was just fucking turn on its head, kind of double coin. I don't know.
You got to go into it with an open mind, because literally, like, if you make it past the first 12 minutes, the second 12 minutes is just like, what the fuck is
I feel
happening?
like we will realize in the second episode if it's actually going to be good or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
these questions have to be answered.
First
Yeah.
episode was definitely
like,
a
here's our setting up for our premise,
And
but you have
then-
to watch episode 2 to get it.
to get the premise, and then like with episode, I feel like this is going to be either with an anime where at episode 2 you're going to realize it's really good or really bad, or it's going to drag on for like 5 episodes. You're still wondering what's going on, and then
Yeah.
you finally realize what's going on. You're like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Little boots.
Little boots.
Caligula means little boots.
Does it really mean little boots?
Yeah, because the Emperor Caligula, whenever he would be around the soldiers and stuff, he would put on their boots and would walk around in them, so they nicknamed him Little Boots, Caligula.
What the fuck? He's wearing the little.
I
boots.
would get pissed as the emperor.
Yeah, because that name stuck, and it's like, why would you keep this?
You know
Did
what?
he like it?
I like it. Let's go kill Poseidon. Get him, boys.
But I mean, it's so weird because I didn't hate it. I want to say it was probably my least favorite out of those we watched, but I
Yeah.
would probably still give it a mild recommendation.
Yeah, because I want to watch episode 2.
Yeah, I'm
what's
definitely interested to
happening.
see what happens in episode 2, because episode 1 threw me for literally like the last 12. It's literally like it's about 2 or 3 different anime in one, just from beginning to end. Like the first act, the second act, and the final act of the whole episode are just like 3 distinctly different shows. It's just like, what the hell is even happening here? So yeah, I would give it a mild recommendation for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Anime 4 is the most recent adaptation of Gegege no Kitarou.
Which has had like 6 adaptations.
Yeah. Dating back to like what, the 70s?
Well, no,
I think?
1980, mid 80s.
Mid 80s. Okay, old as fuck, but
A little bit of background for this series. It's about an elderly couple lived in like abject squalor in the rural Japanese countryside, and they have a son, but the both of the parents die during the malady. They die, but in order to care for their son, the father's spirit, lingers on Earth. And he escapes through his eyeball drips out of his molten dead skull, and he forms this little body, and he takes care of his son. And his son has the ability, because he's kind of like halfway between life and death. He can commune with his spirits and yokai and all sorts of strange creatures, and he has all these different little adventures from there, like taking care of people, keeping yokais from going bad. But mostly the yokai are kind of just like tricksters and lazy bums, but periodically he'll have a bad one he has to deal with, and this is a very modern setting for this for the characters and premise.
yeah.
What's interesting about this anime is that it obviously, so it doesn't have all that big. So the anime itself, while Patrick explained, was the background to Gegege. In general, the actual anime itself, this new adaptation for the season is. It starts out like that whole premise has already been established.
Yeah.
Like, this is like that kid is still somewhere in, he's still the same age and everything, but now in 2018.
Yeah.
And now they're dealing with all this bullshit. They even kind of go so far as to make you realize that by even kind of making a point to point out cell phones, like a touchscreen cell phone. Which I thought was really cool, because it's basically saying, oh yeah, this is the same Gegege that you knew from 1980s, just we've kind of taken
A way
him,
modernized twist on
we
it.
just said, oh well, now we need him in 2018, and so it's literally just like there was no shift and change in those 30 years, yeah. So I don't know, pretty cool.
I thought it was a super like cutesy show.
It was so much fun.
It was super like even like the intro was like super fun. I mean, it was just like and then it just like I think Patrick said it's kind of like a Pink Panther vibe, which is totally true.
But also like a spooky, like
kinda
Addams
like,
Family type vibe.
Yeah, but it's like cutesy. It's not like, oh, I'm getting spooked. It's like, oh, okay, I can okay, yeah. And it like I really enjoyed it for that aspect of it.
Funny.
Yeah, no, it was legitimately funny in part.
Little little eyeball daddy.
Daddy Eyeball.
Daddy
yeah.
Eyeball,
Yeah.
best new character 2018 of any media.
Tiny butt.
Tiny butt.
He did have a tiny
He
butt.
had a tiny butt, yeah. And then like, so the whole thing in the first episode is like this guy's going around seemingly creating a vlog in like the middle of the street in Japan and holding up traffic, and then he turns into a fucking vampire tree or whatever. And immediately we were all like Logan Paul, because like it's literally what it was referencing.
Like this little YouTube kid acting like a jackass in front of the world.
And that's actually how
the yokai got releases, because he was like, what the fuck is this? And then he threw the rock that sealed it away.
Yeah. He was like, oh, I'm going to break the seal off this rock. He ripped the seal off and broke the rock.
And because they were like, I thought we sealed away this dude like a long time ago, and then
Immediately cuts to a video of the guy taking it and breaking it. Yeah.
that
Daddy
would do
Eyeball's like, I found it.
like, oh, that would do it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, it was kind of, it wasn't like so cutesy that it wasn't violent. It was an adorable.
Yeah, it still had like pretty good action.
It had great action scenes.
Because
Like
at the end, after they like finally like they figure out the secret about the evil trees and all the people being cursed, he has Gegege no Kitarou, the kid himself, has like his confrontation with the center of the tree monster. You know, he has like all these different spells, like he's doing like energy beams.
One of his spells was him throwing his shoe.
Which ruled.
it was remote controlled shoe.
Yeah.
And then they had like the night spirit gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
called finger gun, and like he shoots needles from his hair, literally called hair needles. And it like it's very like I don't know what the intended audience for the show is. Like I don't know if
I hate it now.
I don't know if younger kids are supposed to watch it, but it's definitely like something I could see
It was
more
definitely
kids
an all
watching.
ages comic
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
This could totally come on Toonami. This could not even.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
this could totally come on Toonami. Hell, I could see this on like 4:00 after school Cartoon Network.
Yeah. No, I mean legit.
Like this is it's really good. Like it's definitely. I imagine the age range being like the director.
9 to 99.
You know what? Just like Legos.
Yeah. But I mean, but it's true though. Like it really, like encapsulates like this whole, like cutesy wonder. Like there's stakes in the show, but it's not like high stakes. Like, oh my god, everyone's gonna die. Like they were never even worried about the people that turn into trees, because they're like, oh, as soon as we fight the yokai, they're gonna not be trees anymore.
Yeah.
So who cares? So it's like very low stakes. Whereas like, obviously, like I know a lot of the anime we watch is very like life or death and blah blah blah.
The
But,
world will end because of me.
yeah, it's like,
I think Golden Kamuy needs to be on a Cartoon Network early in the morning.
we need to get the bear from Golden Kamuy to make an appearance in.
We Bear Bears.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
What is it? The early Nickelodeon for like little kids.
Nick
Peppa
Jr.
Pig.
Nick Jr. Golden Kamuy, Nick Jr.
I thought you were talking about Noggin, which is actually the correct answer for that. But anyway,
One of the things I really like about this anime is that it leaves a lot of room, because I loved Yokai Watch. Yokai Watch.
Yokai Watch is a lot of fun.
yeah,
Imagine this being like
A slightly older version of Yokai.
Yeah, a little slightly older than Yokai, because one of the things I really like about these types of shows is that Japan has a lot of like, because it is a Shinto.
it's just
sorta-
ghost everywhere over there.
Very Shinto, very spiritual. I love that type of thing in any culture.
Yeah.
And specifically Japanese. And so we get to learn more about some. Oh yeah, this is the tree demon. So
Yeah.
run.
And just like all the like very unique spirits and like creatures that exist in Japanese culture. Like in the intro, there's a scene where it's raining and Kitarou is walking in the rain with an umbrella, but it's actually Karakasa Obake, which is a umbrella spirit with like one eye who hops around on one foot.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Everybody needs to watch this shit.
Yeah.
No, I give this a high recommendation.
Yeah. Yep.
For
First
sure.
episode was good as hell.
Yeah, first
Yep.
episode was really. I think there's 3 episodes out now.
think
You
it's-
like,
Yeah, 3.
I think episode 3 came out today
Oh.
when we're recording this. But yeah, go check it out. Definitely, like, I don't care how old you are, go watch this.
Yeah, our 5th anime we watched is a debuting series named Hinamatsuri.
Loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I knew I thought this was the one I was saying yesterday. Whenever we had dinner yesterday before they went and watched it, I was like, because I had watched the anime beforehand, and I was just like, this is the one that Colt would love. This is the one that Colt would love.
It was.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, is that I don't understand. I don't know where this is gonna go. I have no idea how this might turn out.
I just think it's who wants to go into a premise about it?
An attempt at the premise is what we'll try to get across. It basically is this very well-off man. He lives in this sky-rise apartment, very rich, and he's just enjoying his life. I'm very rich. I bought a $2 million vase, and I'm just having my collection of vases and everything. And he just sort of looks over, and there's this metal ball that kind of falls out of his ceiling, and has a little girl's face in it, and he just sort of looks at it and just like, yeah, I didn't see that.
And then goes the entire day without even like
Goes to bed. Yeah, like fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Well, what Cole did remind me, like he sees it and he starts like patting his fist into his open palm like he's about to fight it. And he just, like,
it was great. He was like,
he says that's cool.
and he goes to bed. He wakes
to
up the
bed.
next morning. And it's like, oh, it's still there.
It's
I
still
guess
here.
I got to deal with it now.
Yeah,
So
and
he opens up the pod and it's a little girl who has super
psychokinetic powers.
She's like, let me out. And he's like, excuse me, let me out.
just very deadpan.
And she's like, and he's like, what? How do I let you out? And she goes, hit the button on my back, let me out. And he like pushes her over on her face and hits the button, and she explodes. And then she's just like, this naked girl stands up, and she's like a naked like teenager girl, and he's like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, he's like, and then she's like, close. And he's like, what? And she's like, close! And breaks like 4 of his vases. And he's like, oh my god,
He breaks. She breaks him with psychic powers. And he's like, stop breaking my vases.
Yeah.
And it just goes on to like this where it pretty much shows him like he doesn't even begin to question where she's from or why any of this
No, he
happened.
just kind of goes with it.
And
Yeah.
she's like, I want to go to school. And he's like,
I want clothes, I want stuff, I want food.
He's just mildly annoyed by the whole thing, but he keeps going along
He
with
pretty
that.
much takes her in as his daughter.
and he has a lot of money. Anyways, she's like, I want to go to school. And he's like, and she goes, I want to go to school. And he goes, you can't go to school. If people find out that what you can do, they'll come after you and they will hurt you. And she's like, and she like
Almost,
she moves her hand and all of her stuff kind of lifts up. All of his stuff lifts up, and he's like, okay, you can go to school, but you're gonna be. And he gave her last name and stuff like that, and gave her his last name. It's really weird.
Yeah. Oh, and they set a ground rule that like she can't use her powers.
And turns out the reason why he has all this stuff and all this money is because he's in the Yakuza.
Yeah.
And he proceeds to have to kill this other Yakuza boss or this other rival gang boss.
Because their Yakuza boss was injured, and he was ordered to take that person out.
Yeah.
And he came there, and he goes to this place without the girl, and he looks at the place, and he's like, wow, this place is going to be teeming with people trying to kill me, and I'm a one-man army. And then the girl pops up in the back somehow. She had somehow snuck into his car, and she's like, are you going to do it? And he was like, do what? You going to order me to go in there and kill them all? And he's like, no, but I guess, yeah.
Well, no. He's like, no, that's stupid. Why would I send a kid in there? And it's a very nice little moment because it's like earlier he used her to help with
Wood deforestation.
deforestation, like getting some wood stuff, and she was like, oh, I've seen those eyes before, like it's the eyes of adults who have used me to do their bidding or whatever. So she was like, are you gonna do that? And he's like, no, that's stupid. And she was kind of like, this is the first person I've ever come across that won't specifically use me. So she's like,
Yeah, she literally smiles and goes, I'll do it.
and she kills everybody in the fucking building. It was crazy.
And it's not like, and there's like very cutesy music over it. Like there's no blood or anything. It's just like Yakuza members flying out of windows. And then she brings out the boss like floating. And she's like, is this the guy? And he goes, yeah. It's like that insane.
It was a very comedic moment, which is, it was kind of weird because she was pretty much killing them.
Yeah.
But it was also like,
oh, this sweet like quote father-daughter moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's cute. That makes me happy. Like it's a very weird anime. Like, it has a very weird dynamic. So, like, we don't know where this girl came from or what she was created by. Obviously, she was created to be some sort of slave or something. And, like, you have this guy in the Yakuza who's, like, this really nice guy, but he's in the Yakuza. And it's like, those two things come together, and it's just like, oh, let's make a funny father-daughter anime out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
It's very similar, not very similar, sort of similar to Yakuza series with Kazuma and Haruka, if you know what that is, which is a girl he adopts, not going to know the story. And just another little Easter egg in there. There's a guy in the office that is dressed exactly like Kazuma Kiryu.
Yeah.
Wearing his white and suit and the red satin shirt or whatever.
I absolutely love the comedy in this.
Yeah, no, it was actually. I'm just going to go ahead and say the spring lineup this season blows the winter lineup out of the
Oh,
water.
yeah. Winter line.
Fucking packed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Only had like 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Really.
spring, like, all of these are good, and we could have probably, and, like, we had more on the list, like, that just wasn't on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, it was insane, like, how stacked this season is.
Yep.
But, I mean, so, obviously, high recommendation.
Oh,
High
yeah.
recommendations.
Yeah.
Hinamatsuri. I did we say the name
Yeah,
of it?
Yeah, we did.
We said it.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Our sixth anime we watched from the creator of Devilman is called Cutie Honey Universe. It's the newest adaptation of the Cutie Honey series.
Yeah.
Did not watch this one.
Which did start in, like, the late 60s, I think, or early 70s.
No
I don't
way.
think it was like it is now. I could imagine it's not.
Well, Go the Guy's work has always been controversial and you know ahead of its time in certain respects. This is the only series that wasn't on Crunchyroll that we watched.
Yeah, I think it is coming to Crunchyroll, but I think it was like a weird week delay, something, because there's a whole discussion post about it on Crunchyroll, so I assume it's coming to Crunchyroll. But this was fucking wild. Okay, so just gonna say, if you enjoyed Devilman Crybaby, you'll love this shit. It's literally this like similar art style, but more, I would say, more colorful than Devilman.
Yeah.
like more bright, more vibrant
Yeah.
than Devilman. But like same animation style, same kind of like, I don't even know how to call.
Well, it's the same. Definitely it's the same art style. It's not exactly the same, but they tweaked the art style for the Crybaby iteration. But it's like I said, it's very much Go the Guy. It's sex and violence.
Yeah.
It starts with this girl named Honey who's in this cutesy all-girls school, very idyllic. She's eating lunch with her friends. Then she has a call on her watch. I gotta go save the day. And just like, oh, we had to sneak out of school. I'll help you sneak out. And like, as they're trying to sneak out, they hear rustling in the bushes. We can't let the teachers find us. They peek over the bush, and it's 2 teachers just like banging.
Yeah.
Yeah, which let's just talk about the rest of this podcast about that. It was the weirdest shit.
It was weird because it was like the sex between the 2 teachers were kind of drawn like.
One was
they're
like the
very-
shape of a football.
Yeah,
and-
one was very
like, we need to draw these 2 people fucking in about 5 seconds. Let me
and
just draw
Were
shapes.
they both women?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's
okay,
okay,
All
that was
all
right.
women's school.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just trying to make sure of that
Yeah.
because it would just look like they're like
It was legitimately hard to tell just because like it was literally looked like 2 blobs.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But specifically, one person looked like a ball.
Yeah.
and you could tell like their little boobies on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it looked like they were just tickling each other, but they were having sex.
No, they flat out like it was like we were watching it. We were like, this show is going off the rails quick.
and it was weird too because all the other characters are like look so good, and like these 2 were just like very stuck out. I don't know how to describe it.
I mean, it was very crudely drawn.
Flat. That's what it was, flat.
Like they were like, we're drawing your attention to this if you don't want to see it or not, motherfucker. You know what you're getting into watching my shit, and you're gonna watch these 2 flat ovals have sex right now. It's literally what happened.
So, Honey, she sneaks out of school. She runs out in the woods.
one of her friends gets whipped by another teacher and loses all of her clothes.
Yeah, somehow that happened.
Yeah, there's a lot of like soft lesbianic tones throughout the show, and
Soft is an interesting word to use there.
Is
But okay.
lesbionic a word? Lesbionic?
lesbianic.
Bionicle.
Let's be honest.
I trust everything Patrick says.
Yeah.
So Honey goes out to her motorcycle. She hides in the woods, and Honey's gimmick is that she can transform in different personas to meet whatever the occasion. Like she has a motorcycle persona. She changes her hair to black and a blue outfit. She rides down the winding mountain road to get to the police scene. And so she's there at the police scene. There's hostages at like a jewelry store at a bank, and it's like the detective's like, "Hey, you got to go in there." And she's accompanied by a foreign investigator who's like not a spoiler. It's pretty obvious. It's the villainess of the evil league.
Yeah.
It's literally you can tell in like the first time you see
Literally
her.
the villain who set up the bank heist, or not the? Is it a bank or?
It's a jewelry store.
Jewelry
there
store
was like
heist,
jewels and stuff.
Which one of the people in there that was holding it up literally cuts a woman in half.
yeah.
Which is insane.
Like there's a woman cowering in the corner, and she's like she's in like her bra and panties, and like a monster just like slices down the front, so he like cuts her bra.
It cuts everything off.
Yep.
Like
through
she's
her
dead.
boobs, and so just a split like this apropos of nothing moment where this woman just like getting sexy, but also she's getting killed.
Yeah.
And they use the animation in a way like she's cut, her blood splatters, and they use the red from her blood splatter to like transition to the next scene where right when Honey gets there. And I just want to say that when Honey transforms, the animation used for her transforming, so we saw her transform twice in this episode. Those are beautiful. Like the colors, the music, like they look incredible.
Very much reminds me of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, it's very Sailor Moon-esque.
Yeah.
Like it's phenomenal. Like,
And also you can tell whenever Honey is losing her powers or she's getting weakened is because she loses more and more of her clothes.
she loses clothes, but also like because her hair changes
hair
colors.
starts, yeah.
And her hair goes back to her base form, which is long blonde.
Yeah, because her soldier form that she used to fight the main villain,
Yeah.
it was short red hair.
Yeah, I mean the show looks absolutely stunning. Like if you enjoyed, like I said, if you enjoyed Devilman Crybaby at all, you will like this show.
I'm kind of in the middle because it's like I didn't hate it, but I like didn't like it because like I don't know the history and I've never seen like the past season or whatever. But I'm just like, but it's not bad. It's
not bad at
still
all.
good. So
It just depends on your personal
It depends how far you're willing to go
taste
with your
for
anime watching.
very odd eroticized violent series because it's definitely violent because like she fights all these girl monsters, but it's also like very eroticized.
And this
Yeah.
is like bloody and gory.
Yeah.
Like this,
Girl
there's
just
no
gets her head blown off.
yeah.
girl gets cut in half.
Yeah.
There's no implied violence. You see the violence, and there's
Yeah.
blood everywhere. But
But
I mean,
it's still very. It's weird. It's definitely Devilman Crybaby.
yeah. Like I mean,
you can tell very easily that it's
yeah,
by Go.
yeah.
yeah, you can tell. I mean, I'd give it a recommendation.
Yeah,
especially if you like Devilman. I would say you absolutely have to watch this.
Yeah.
But if you've never seen Devilman, I would say go into this very cautiously because it is more gory than like your typical anime, and there is a lot of like very sexually explicit things, like
Overtones.
Overtones in the first
Is it
episode.
as violent as Devilman though.
It is.
Well, the first episode wasn't. I don't know what
It's
the rest
very.
of the series has.
It's like cutesy, but then it's
Yeah.
very sexualized, but then it gets very violent. So.
Yeah.
It's really jarring how it goes from this like really cute like ideal at moments with Cutie and her friends at school to just like titties and ass
Yeah.
and blood everywhere.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like a mixture between Sailor Moon and Devilman.
Pretty much. Yeah. Exactly.
That's a
Which, if you like both of those shows, watch this. But yeah, I give it a recommendation. Go watch it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And the last debuting series we watched in our marathon is a series called Megalo Box.
I'm gonna go ahead and say my favorite anime of this whole season.
Maybe my favorite new anime of the year so far. To be honest, it is fucking good.
Yeah.
Like oh my god. So,
It was intense.
And
Yeah.
and the premise of this series is a nameless man who's in a cyberpunk, very dilapidated urban world where he competes in underground boxing matches. But the gimmick is all the competitors wear these like mechanized exoskeletons that cover like their chest and back and arms, like to deliver like a much more devastating punch.
Which they have no protection if they get like hit in like the stomach or anything. Like if they get hit.
yeah, it's like a robot punching them in the stomach or face.
Yeah.
Imagine a boxing ring, but with like the exoskeleton from like Elysium.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At least yeah.
Or like Real Steel.
Or
if they
Call
were
of Duty.
in-
Yeah.
It's very much an exoskeleton boxing anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set in dystopian world where you have this rich city who has these technologies that are beyond that of the people of the Junkrats,
Yeah.
who are outside of the city, and this like very dilapidated art. I mean, the art really shows through the gleaming city versus the dilapidated background.
Yeah, the slums pretty much. It's like the main character. His name he's nameless, but he goes by his ring name, which is Junk Dog.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much like he doesn't have any he doesn't have citizenship, so he can't necessarily go to the city that much. I mean, he can't even compete in the tournament, which is the Megalonia.
Yeah, which is the whole basis seemingly of the show is they're trying to get all these fighters to fight into this ultimate thing to decide who is the ultimate Megalo champion
and fight the the official Megalo boxing champion, which is a guy named Yuri. Yeah.
Could name the King of Kings, Triple H's anime debut.
Triple H's anime. Also, if you're familiar with Yuri on Ice, same.
Yeah,
he has white hair. You know,
Actually, now that I think about it,
yeah.
Honestly,
Oh my gosh, it's Yuri grown up.
the ice skating biz went downhill fast.
Very much it very much reminds me of Rocky towards with the Yuri being the Russian.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, absolutely.
And the underdog. So you do see those aspects kind of come through. From a technical aspect and point,
From a technical ass point,
lots of good asses in this film. There was great art.
Great art style, great music. I
Because
love
the music is fantastic, the art is fantastic. One thing about the art that I found really interesting was that, well, first of all, I'm not sure if we're getting the full resolution on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I said that I thought it was like animated and drawn in 720, and they're like, fuck, it's been in 720p this whole time. We gotta up it a little bit, and we got like 3 days till it relaunches.
I feel like it's meant to look rough.
I think I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't think so. I honestly think that the upload, we're getting a bad upload. I think we're getting a bad upload from Crunchy, which is weird, which has never happened before, as far as I know from the animes we've seen. But for this particular anime, unless they are doing it from an artistic standpoint, because this anime really does have some stylistic points from mid-90s anime.
Yeah. Well, this is also like a sort of remake thing.
50 years.
Yeah, the Championship Joe 50-year anniversary.
Joe.
Yeah, 50th year anniversary. So it's kind of like a weird spin on that too. So it could be an artistic choice. The show still looks incredible. Yeah. Legit. It still looks absolutely phenomenal, but there is like a weird thing there.
Creator,
yeah, for sure.
I think the art director or something like that. Creator of Redline. If anyone's seen the animated movie Redline, sort of similar to that.
I know what you're talking about, and I need to watch it. But I've seen one specific scene that just gets me hard every time I see it. It's so
talk
good.
About that on the podcast. I am grossed out.
This is
Wenzel has been going through a horny phase in his life right now.
Patrick, those are things you do not say out loud on the podcast.
Wenzel is
I'm shaming him. He has to stop.
Wenzel is horny on Maine for sure. I was trying to find the name of it, I can't. But if you enjoy any boxing anime, you're going to love this. It's the same style, but there's also like the whole
sci-fi.
but there's also like the whole like class warfare element of it, where like Yuri is like the Megalo champion because he has the most funding, and he has like this new like literally his
exoskeleton
is attached to his body. It's his arms.
It looked like which it was just an attachment, but it pretty much looked like they were just his arms. Yeah.
Where you have Junk Dogs, who is like built out of like these rusty metal hydraulics
scrap
and
parts.
poles, and looks like shit.
And that's there is that Slumdog type situation sort of thing going on, and there is this class warfare thing because it's pretty fucking obvious, because you have this literal gleaming beautiful city, and then it sharp cuts off to this dry arid wasteland.
And like Yuri's very pale white hair. I mean, white with pure. I mean, it's just.
And the woman over the woman over the Megalo tournaments. It's literally like dystopian. A dystopian world where the world ends and boxing is the name of the game. Yeah, like that's literally boxing.
Which, by the way, would rule.
and the mech parts are really cool too, because you do have Yuri, who has this like super high tech, and I love the pacing as well, because you start out at the beginning of the episode and it's very slow grind a little bit. A
lot of world building,
dude. Why don't you because it starts out with what's Junk Dog.
Yeah.
Starts with Junk Dog, like, I want to be the greatest. He's like, I'm not here to be the greatest. I'm here to make money. And
but then he also says that I am the greatest. I know I am.
Yeah. I am the greatest, and he is the greatest. But then it goes to a scene where he's in the ring, or later on it goes into a scene where he's in the ring, and he loses on purpose to get money.
Yeah.
So he loses on purpose in order to win. in order to gain money, because it's very much it's very much a called game of boxing. Right?
Yeah,
It's
I
an
mean this
absolute
this is
sport.
underground boxing, so like the source of income is like all these dudes like betting on the fights.
Yeah, and-
So-
and therefore he gets paid for losing.
Yes.
But that's one of the things he hates is that he knows he has skill, but he's not showing it. And then at some point, it's like it's funny because Yuri actually comes down there to fight him, and he ends up losing. But it's like he still was able to go toe to toe. And then it's interesting because they make
Well,
Yuri.
that's not in episode 1.
Oh shit, that's episode 2.
I mean, the beginning part of it is the beginning of the Yuri fight is at the end of episode 1, but I mean, it still ties in, and I mean, it's not really a spoiler. Like, he's not going to beat obviously the guy that's colored as the main character. The first fucking episode, that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, this is not a huge spoiler, but like you're obviously like. He's not a bad guy necessarily.
No,
like,
he's not. He's just like the guy that is in his position because he has had the money and the luxury
and the skill.
Yeah, and the skill.
And,
yeah, he's obviously
and
a
he
very
tells
skilled fighter.
and he tells Junk Dog, fight me in my ring. Like come up and fight me because I think you're a worthy opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's an interesting concept. You have the he literally lifted out of the garbage and into the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I think it's interesting to see that kind of play out. Very much playing out cinematically. It is anime, but at the same time, it's more got a cinematic feel to the entire.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it felt like especially opening the first, it was very theatrical.
Yeah.
And like just the level of like animation and skill involved with the first episode, especially, it's very high, very crisp. And if it's for nothing else, just see it for like a technical standpoint, just for the artistry of it.
The music was fantastic.
Oh yeah, the music in it is God.
Especially during the
A++.
the part where he's driving his motorcycle and it's just like building up.
Especially the part when they're on the bridge and they're about to fight. And,
Oh, and
time
everything
stops, and, like,
stops.
he's experiencing an adrenaline rush from like riding his motorcycle, and he's feeling it from just being in a fight with Yuri. And,
Yeah.
like, you can see time stop, waters drops, and
It
everything
kind of reminds
about
me
that
of
scene.
One Punch Man whenever Saitama is fighting and his heart starts beating again because he's found a real fight.
Yeah, it is. If the show keeps up this level of quality, it's literally like in anime of the year contention because
Yeah.
it is so good. I don't know if it's 12 episodes or 24, 26
13.
episodes.
I looked
It's
it up.
13
Yeah,
episodes?
it's
Oh
13.
fuck yes.
God, it kind of makes me sad at the same time. I'm like, damn, I wish it was longer because I like it so much.
There's gonna be there's definitely gonna be some sad moments in this. episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. This show, because we watched the first 2 episodes, but we're only talking about the first episode. You can definitely tell there's some shit's going to go down.
There's some
in-
hard times coming.
Yeah.
Because I've read some spoilers ahead of time, and there's gonna be a weasel in a Gundam.
Oh, what? Like that would be what a
He
crossover.
punches like one of the dude's head off, and just a weasel head pops out and just looks around.
It's me, Yuri.
It's me, Captain
He's
Rommel.
the Stoat because Stoats turn white in the winter. He's from Russia.
What if
Oh
Yuri's
my
a
God.
robot? Did anybody see that where he had holes in his neck?
No, I think he's a robot.
It makes sense.
I think he's like.
I thought he was just like an enhanced human. Like
Oh, he
That-
may be. I
that
think
might
his.
be
I
too.
don't. I think his arms are his
He's
arms.
what are
Those
the
metal arms.
not android? What are they called whenever a
Cyborg.
human cyborg? Yes.
Well, something Cole pointed this out too is that, and they said it in there that those arms are attachments, but they look like they're part of his body because whenever he's about to fight Junk Dog on the bridge, it's like you see his hands. It's like you see skin,
Yeah.
but whenever he's fighting him in the ring, you see his hands robotic. So it's like,
I think he just wears human skin to disguise them.
oh, maybe, yeah, he paints them.
No, like legit. Like I think
prosthetics.
Not,
not
maybe.
prosthetics, but kind of like just has like it's anime. Who knows? He's rich. He probably can.
No, let's
afford
let's
human
dissect
skin
this and bring
gloves.
some realism into anime.
Okay. Dude wrecked his motorcycle like 4 times in the first episode. What the fuck's up with that? Like, I'm poor, but I'm going to wreck my motorcycle in every twist and turn I can.
stop spacing out when you drive a motorcycle. Is the
I know,
best-
you think
the
you would
lesson to
learn.
Did you know that in every anime where there's mechs, that there's always somebody who can fix a motorcycle that's been destroyed to hell and back in 5 minutes?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It meets a very kindly gas station attendant in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you're in luck. I just happen to be the very best at this very specific job in the world.
And I am very poor.
But I'm very humble.
Yeah, I'm very humble and I don't charge. But God.
I am the best.
Yeah. But
I'm also your father.
yeah, we're also brothers.
I've
and-
been keeping it secret.
Yeah. the highest recommendation for this.
Hell yeah.
I would, if you watch one show that we've talked about here today, watch Megalo Box because it is.
Gegege. Also,
I mean, agree. I'm telling
Well,
you.
how about we do this? We go around and say what our strongest
Yeah,
recommendation
yeah.
is.
Okay,
Starting
okay.
with Tanner.
I mean, mine easily Megalo Box. Go watch Megalo Box. It's fucking phenomenal. Go watch Megalo Box.
Megalo Box for me as well.
Golden Kamuy.
Oh, okay.
Gegege.
Okay.
It was so good.
I think mine might actually be Megalo Box. But
Wow, I
my
hate
goal, the
everybody
Golden
here.
Kamuy is it's like they're neck and neck though. They're
Yeah.
For me, it's like I'm torn between Golden Kamuy, Megalo Box, and Hinamatsuri because I really liked Hinamatsuri.
Basically, any of the anime we've watched.
Literally
Any of
every
them, any
anime
of
we
them.
talked about today, go watch.
It's
Because
interesting.
Spring, I mean, seriously, spring is and I don't think spring is traditionally like the powerhouse month.
It's usually
Wait,
winter and summer.
It's usually winter and summer. But if summer is stronger than spring, then fuck.
2018 is.
We're getting hit with some good shit because spring is phenomenal.
And that was our anime 2018. Let up.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yep.
absolutely go watch it. And like returning anime this season, just to touch on it real quick, like Food Wars came back this.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero came back, which
Steins Gate.
Steins Gate.
There was a Mob
it's
Psycho
rebooted.
movie,
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it
it's
was
kind of
just
like a recap.
but still though.
Yeah, it's still new Mob Psycho, or not new, but it's still Mob Psycho into the 2018 conscious. Go watch it. Go watch My Hero if you haven't watched My Hero. We'll probably one day do a whole episode on My Hero.
We're gonna do a My Hero season 3. A My Hero up to season 3,
Yeah.
non-canon as soon as season 3's over.
Yeah,
Yep.
season 3's over, so that will be dropping. In,
Did we not do a
I
My-
guess in October.
My Hero episode or canon,
We did.
We did an anime episode that we mostly talked about My Hero last year,
but
this in October, because October is normally our spooky month. We'll hit you with a non-canon My Hero, like the story so
Yeah,
far.
you'll get it. You'll get it.
because we're having a summer of My Hero. Like this year, we have the movie coming out.
Yeah.
We have the game coming out. So there's a lot of content for My Hero fans.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of shit coming out.
You're
from
gonna
My Hero.
eat that shit up.
Yeah, no, for sure. But thank you everybody for listening. If you're
We-
listening,
Are we not
Red
talking
Player
about-
One.
already played.
oh shit! Yeah, I legitimately
Okay, so I
completely
need
forgot.
this. I think there's gonna be some spoilers here. Some spoilers. Some
Patrick hasn't seen it.
some.
I'm not going to watch it.
Okay, good.
Oh, some spoilers. Some spoilers.
We
Yep.
saw-
Spoilers.
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 So
Okay.
Spoilers.
Spoilers!
Spoilers.
Hey,
Spoilers. 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 Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Spoilers. Spoilers.
How long are we gonna time this at? Are we really about to fit a whole ass movie review in here, or are we gonna be like,
It's
let's get
bonus
in and out
content.
in 5 or
What?
10 minutes?
I'll stop us when I'm ready.
Fuck. Somehow the review from Ready Player One longer than Ready Player One.
We went from we went for an hour and 6 minutes for the anime review.
Okay.
So
For bonus content, Ready Player One improv review. If you want to see it, duck out now. See us next week.
yeah, because we're about to talk about it a little bit. We're not gonna go into too much
No,
detail.
this isn't. This is gonna be like the time we reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of a random episode.
So-
last
Yondu
year.
dies.
How should
Yeah.
how should we start this? Should we start with?
Let me just start by saying that the characters are ugly.
Yeah.
The main-
I would say the girl character's the one that I had really big problems with. She looked like an alien.
like her real actress.
Oh no, the
I'm talking about the
avatars.
actors and
Oh
actresses.
my god.
Oh, I thought
Girl look- they're
I-
fine looking.
yeah, I thought the girl looked great. I like
Yeah.
her.
I knew you would like her.
I think they look fine. The guy that plays the main character that plays Wade looks like Andy Samberg though.
He looks like
Legit.
pretty much any white guy.
Any stereotypical white guy.
Cyclops.
Think
looks
of
like-
white guy. That's him.
So wait,
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was he the guy that played young Cyclops?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And
Oh,
And,
he did?
Yeah, in X-Men Apocalypse. Yep.
Okay. Well, who is your favorite Gundam?
Here was my major. Here is my number one qualm with the movie. It's towards the end.
Okay, let's talk about the bad stuff first. Yeah, go.
Yeah, I mostly just want to talk about the bad stuff because it's so much fun to talk.
Still, I would recommend watching it.
I would
I would
totally-
highly
on
recommend
Netflix.
it. I would highly.
Yeah, on Netflix, or if you have a movie pass, you get a movie a day. Go see it because it's a fun film. Like it doesn't throw. It's not like the book where it just throws up references at you. Like the references are pretty spaced out. There's a fucking lot of them. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but it's a fun movie.
Also, don't cancel your movie pass because they won't let you re-sign up for it for 9 months.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's scary for me because I was only going to get it for summer and cancel.
Nope.
Oh, dang.
Okay,
they're thinking
well,
ahead.
have fun with that, bud. Anyways, so at the part where they get the main bad guy cornered, and he's like pointing a gun at him. He's like, You killed my mom's sister. Why didn't he say aunt?
That was kind of.
That how fucking he was like, you killed my mom's sister, aunt. You called her aunt multiple times in the movie. Why don't you say you killed my aunt?
The word quota.
That was very awkward, but I don't know, because it's like, it seems like his relationship with his aunt wasn't even that good in the first place.
No,
but-
it didn't. It seemed like they were very distant, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go answer the phone."
So
And
it,
then their
it was just
apartment
kind of
blew up.
like, he was like, I don't really have anything to hold against you, but fuck you.
Yeah, and by the way, this movie takes place in the technological mecca of the world, Columbus, Ohio.
Yep. Fastest growing city in the world. Well, it grows up.
It's just
'Cause
fucking
it's stats.
wild.
He lived in a trailer park that was a bunch of like.
A stratified trailer park.
It was very interesting.
And it's a junkyard.
I don't know. There's a lot about this movie that I really did. It was fun. It was a lot.
It was a
fun.
very fun movie.
But
yeah, go ahead.
it was very much. It had no consistency of theme either. Like, it was like, oh, here's a romance. Here's an action movie.
Yeah.
Here is a sad drama. Here is a love story. And then at the end was so like,
Oh, the ending was fucking stupid.
it was a 90s movie.
well, like the ending
And it
was
was-
like, we're closing the Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm like, what the
That pissed me
fuck?
off. As soon as I heard that, I looked at Winslow and I was like, what the fuck?
I'm like, that's people's like main source of income in the real world, and you're just gonna close it 2 days a week.
Because what's really important is the real world.
Yeah, the only thing that's real is reality. Fuck out of here. That dude's been dead for 5 years.
Well,
at
I mean,
this
it's
point.
like the whole movie was hyping up fucking VR, and then they're like, actually VR?
Actually, VR's the fucking devil. I'm closing it 2 days of the
Well,
week.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, I understand the sentiment behind it. It's like, you know, this thing is great and all, but it's like, I mean, who cares? But who cares so much about it? Because like, it's like the life you want to live. It's like, you know, why don't you live in the real world? Because I mean, the real world is beautiful.
I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do in Columbus, Ohio, 2 days out of the week?
Yeah.
I mean, get out of Columbus, Ohio.
And the only way to do that is to play the game and get money.
Like that bothered me. The whole first part where he and Artemis are like dancing and the
Okay,
dance
I was laughing the entire time.
Wenzel lost his shit in the theater,
Because-
especially where like his crotch started glowing and he was just like,
I
What the fuck was that?
I
It was
flipped
so-
the fuck out. That was so funny. It was just like,
I thought
Jesus.
Wenzel was crying. I was sitting right by Wenzel, and Wenzel like it was like the classic Wenzel like you know dolphin laugh. And
The guy in front of us looked like he was on the edge of his seat.
the guy in front of us, this was his Citizen Kane. He was on the edge of his seat the whole time, and it was so funny too because we saw it. How many people were in the theater?
like 7.
We saw it at like 4:00 on a Friday, so there wasn't many people in there, and so it was kind of weird watching a movie that was supposed to get a lot of ooh and ahs. None of that happened because like there was a few parts where I could see like Colt or Wenzel, they'd go like, oh, I know that.
Which I appreciate the little references in there and stuff, especially the modern ones where you get to see like,
Yeah.
you know, Tracer from Overwatch.
Which is not in the book.
Borderlands,
Yeah.
If I'm being real with you,
Shotgun.
CG was fantastic.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, CG
Oh, yeah.
in the movie, like the King Kong and the dinosaur from the race. Which, by the way, I think the first race scene is probably my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Fuck, yes.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
I saw it
my
in 3D. I saw it in 3D, and
Oh, I bet that was really fun.
it was some interesting aspects. Fun fact: the theater literally started up, and we had our glasses on. And I was like, "Nothing's in 3D. Why is nothing in 3D?" And then I'm like, "Is anybody else noticing it?" I was looking around, and people were looking around too, and I was like, "Uh-oh, it's not just me. This movie's not in 3D. It's supposed to be in 3D. Why isn't it in 3D?" And people started like yelling, going, "Hey, it's not 3D. Where's the 3D?" What the fuck in the theater? And again, this is a packed theater. This is like the day it came out,
Oh, wow.
and so I'm like, and
There's about to be a full blown
I'm trying to
riot
figure out
in
what's
here.
happening. I'm like, what's happening? And God, what happened? Some people came in. The movie just stops, and some people go, "What happened?" Like they didn't understand what was
They were
happening.
from New York.
Like, what happened?
What happened over here?
And the usher comes out, and he's like, we're having to restart the movie. It's not in 3D. And he's like shaking real bad. It'll be on in just a minute.
Boom.
It may take a little while. They turn it on. Finally in 3D. We're halfway through the movie.
No shit.
What?
And it starts playing like some. It wasn't a spoiler now in retrospect, but it like for it to be halfway through the movie.
What part was it?
It
Do you
was,
remember?
oh fuck! It was. I think after they were getting like the second key. I think it was right near the part where they were getting the second key.
It would have been crazy if it was like the whole Shining scene.
It wasn't the whole Shining scene. Okay. It was where she was dancing.
Oh, with the zombies?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So
wow.
it wasn't too much of a spoiler because everyone was like,
Nobody knew
then
what it was,
This
so.
dude below, the people below us were pissed. And then like they finally got it, like, go back. They kept going back and like, is this it? No, go back more.
Oh my god, it's like history class.
Oh my god, that's literally is giving me like flashbacks to high school where they're like, where did we leave off?
And
Here? No, 10 minutes later.
It took 20
Here.
minutes. It took 20 minutes for us to get us back to the like.
How have you held on to this story for a week? You haven't told any
I
of us.
forgot about it until literally this moment.
This is insane.
And we finally get it back, and then out of the corner of the room comes this screaming baby, just crying
Hell,
in this
he
movie
saved
theater.
you?
That baby went on to become Elon
Jesus
Musk.
Christ!
Oh.
No, that baby screamed throughout the entire goddamn movie.
Hell yes.
Baby shouldn't be allowed in theaters.
No,
Yeah.
baby should not. And people are like,
People are like, oh, but new parents should get a fucking babysitter, okay?
Yeah.
Or like,
I
don't
hate
go to
when
the movies for a
people
year.
are like, baby should experience these. They're like, no, there's something they shouldn't experience. One of those
Yeah.
things is movies.
Yeah,
And
or
they're loud
3D,
as
a
shit.
3D movie? What the fuck?
Little glasses on
If I was a baby, I would fucking shit
what-
myself.
the thing is that this wasn't like a 1-year-old. This wasn't like a little newborn that was just like
It was a
just getting
33.
upset. Like mommy didn't.
It was a
believe it.
13-year-old.
This was like a 2-year-old that was just like and just upset at
Okay,
something
see,
and screaming.
okay, go
and
ahead.
literally this lady in front of us started screaming at the woman, "Take your fucking baby out!" we were just. I was just like. Why would someone bring a baby to a fucking movie? Like, I get it. You want to come see a movie. I totally understand. Parents, if you want to go see a movie, I completely are behind you.
Redbox.
You want to bring your baby to a movie? Okay, sure. But 2 p.m. on a Wednesday is probably going to be your better bet.
Yeah.
Not Friday at 8 p.m. on
opening night.
On opening night of a fucking, I would say,
Pretty big blockbuster.
Yeah.
AA.5 movie.
I would say triple A. I mean, it had $175
It had
million
the
budget,
mushroom
and it's
thing
made
from Battleborn.
$500 million.
I was rating it. Anyways,
Double A and a half.
the
Gurney rates his movies in just the letter A.
the people in front of us were. I was pissy. I was real pissy. I was like, okay, this is
God, I wish I was there.
It
That
was so
sounds
annoying.
incredible.
And so the guy goes down and he like talks to the usher, and then a manager comes up.
He's like, this baby's
later
recording
on,
the
and
movie
literally
with the
says,
phone.
he whispers to the guy, he says, "Hey man, I'm sorry for this whole situation. You know, if you need anything, if you come see me, if you feel like you're still dissatisfied after the end of the movie, you come see me and we'll get it worked out." And so I was like, I looked at Nick, and Nick was like, maybe we should go get some free tickets. but that's not it.
I was about to say, did y'all use your movie pass anyways?
No.
Let the manager just stand outside the theater door. He's just like handing out like free passes till everybody walks out.
But it's only to see another showing of Ready Player One that starts in 20 minutes.
But yeah, that was my experience with Ready Player
That sounds
One.
awesome.
But I still had a lot of fun with the movie, though.
was a
Despite
fun
it
movie.
being
It was
a comedy, the ending was like a '90s movie. There were some romance scenes. There were some dick touching
Some
scenes.
cheesy
Yep.
romance scenes.
Yeah.
Some really bad romance
Wait,
scenes.
it's funny because I told them this. It's like, why is nobody questioning the fact that this man is trying to kill children? It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And-
like one of the best players in the game is a fucking 11-year-old.
yeah, and he's willing to go far enough to shoot him.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like, okay.
And it had
Also-
its moments.
mob of people about to attack the main president guy who has a gun, about to kill our main characters, walking up to the van. And they're like, you're not welcome around here. And then he goes and lifts up a gun.
Yeah, he literally holds his gun up. He's like, what?
and they all like, well, man.
They literally make a path for
Which
him.
it's weird
That
because it's like
makes no fucking
Yeah,
sense.
it's like there's
because you're a group of people.
There's like,
over 100 people there.
oh my God, like
And
in the
he's-
thousands. of
yeah,
people.
he's got 6 bullets. 6 of y'all should just at least get shot in the leg for it.
Yeah, I'm like, obviously he's not a good shot because the whole time in the movie he's like, I can't shoot a gun. And then they're like, he holds it in the air. They're just like, fuck.
He doesn't even hold it in the air like a real gun, though, does he?
No,
Doesn't hold it?
he literally just like is like holding it by like the hammer of the gun, and literally like holds it up like a fucking
So
boomerang.
easily, right there, somebody could have done something. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's gonna pistol whip the hell out of that mob.
Yeah, and like, and this is like a white guy in a suit. Like there was like biker people there, and like old like mad grandmas that could have easily kicked his ass.
Yep.
Like you're not welcome around. God, there was a lot of stupid shit about that movie. A lot of fun though.
It was
Yeah.
very, very much.
It had charm to it.
It's going to be a cult classic, but I don't know who's gonna like it.
I like it.
I like
I
it.
I don't know who's gonna.
They liked it a lot more than
I
did.
gave it 4 stars. I appreciated it.
I gave it a 4-star too, but it was still.
Y'all need to learn that the stars are directly related to percentages. 4 stars is an 80%.
Yeah.
That
I would give it
pretty good.
80%.
Yeah, I'd give it 80%. It's a B movie.
Oh, okay. It's the B movie?
Yeah. I
Do
love
you like jazz?
second favorite, probably Colt's number 1 is the one with the RX-78-2 fighting Mechagodzilla. And that scene was fantastic.
Japanese brothers, favorite part of the movie.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
definitely.
The fact that that in 2018 the main climax battle of a fucking movie is Mechagodzilla versus Iron Giant with a gun and Gundam guy,
We've peaked.
it's insane.
We've peaked. We've now reached total annihilation.
Yeah, like it's insane.
The Shining scene was also great too.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
Shining
yeah.
season is actually really good.
I wish it had more like the Shining type season, Shining scene type situations in it.
like they would have
Go back
went
into a
in
movie?
more movies. That would have been cool too. But I assume there's a ton of like weird ass license. Which granted, they licensed everything else in the world for this
Yeah.
fucking movie. So what's 2 more movies? But
Ready Player 2 is just him going through all the Spielberg movies.
Oh god.
That'd be great. Oh, and they end up back in Ready Player 1, and like Ready Player 2 is like,
He has to team up with himself from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
To take down the thing.
oh my god, that would
Fuck. But Shining was the Kubrick though. That's it. That's interesting. It was done by Spielberg. Why was this movie done by Spielberg?
because he's a big name. They wanted a big.
He's
name
just
attached
like
to it.
he's just like I got lots of money. Let's do this.
Yeah,
the
it's-
thing is, it did turn out really well compared. I mean, if it didn't have Spielberg, God help it.
I have no idea. I mean, it was obvious.
Michael Bay.
You say that, but like, maybe
This movie may have been really good with Michael Bay. This was Michael Bay's dream.
Tracer just explodes.
This was seriously his wet dream.
Wait, no. We get a shot of sweaty Tracer, then she explodes.
Oh yeah. Oh, baby, we are the Last of Us. Explodes. But yeah, that was our weird Ready Player 1 review.
Yeah.
where
It was
Cody
not
told
really
the
a
story.
review. It was a rant.
It wasn't. Literally, we all ranted, and we all said it was bad, but we all recommended it. So
Yeah.
have at it. Go see it, maybe. But thank you, everybody, for listening to the All You Can Hear podcast. If you're listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Overcast, leave us a heart, a like, a subscription, a review, a rating, all that good stuff on those platforms. That really helps us out a lot. You can follow us on Twitter at AYCH Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, AYCH Podcast. And you can follow us on twitch.tv/AllYouCanHear. We stream every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Unless there's some weird circumstance, but we at least once weekly, mostly on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So go check that out. And you can follow me on Twitter, Tanner at Tanner1495.
I'm Colt. You can follow me on Twitter at ColtD88. Do me a big favor and send me pictures of Gundams that look like dogs.
You can follow me, Winslow, you can follow my Twitter at Winsy Wilkie, and you can follow my art Instagram at World of Winsy.
You can
I don't like
This is my least favorite bit
This
of
is
the
follow
whole
me.
show.
He's just trying out his NPR voice.
You can follow me at CODDOC11. That's CODDOC11 on Twitter and Instagram. Go do that.
How are you going to follow that, Patrick?
Also, Letterbox. Go ahead, Patrick.
This is Patrick. You can follow me online on Twitter and Instagram at John Lost His Name. You can follow my art on Facebook, John Lost His Name Art.
Reality is real.
Ready Player One's better than Black Panther.
No,
Oh my God! Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off!
No.